welcome to Voice of the Nations. You're with me, Nina Nirasha Malisak. So, how is this year 2023 doing for you guys, especially the salaryman? How have you been? Has your salary increased? Have you got bonuses? Or are you looking for a new job? Well, today I am at the headquarters of Manpower Group Thailand, the leading global workforce solutions company, to discuss about the outlook of the salary trend 2023, as well as we're going to touch on the tips and the secrets how to increase the salary, or what is the good strategy to ask for salary for the new candidates and also for the fresh graduates as well. So stay tuned with me. So now please welcome Kun Lily, the country manager of Manpower. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
So Kun Lily, today we are going to discuss about the salary in 2023, salary trends and also salary outlook. So my first question I would like to ask you, what is the salary outlook for this year?
This year, in accordance to the latest published number, inflation rates would be roughly around between 2 to 3%. So our prediction in terms of salary increase would roughly be between 3 to 5%.
So what is the challenge for, let's say, the salaryman this year?
The key challenge, I guess, there is a lot of movement around in the market, in the sense that the market itself nowadays, because the economy is actually bouncing back, therefore there are a lot of demands in the workforce. However, having said that, a lot of the companies still struggle with how they want to structure their workforce, in the sense that because we are actually coming out from COVID period, the candidates nowadays, they have specific demand, especially in the area of hybrid work mode. So in that sense, the company have to also be prepared and work on their policy as to how they wanted to tackle that.
Then when you mention about that, what would be your advice for both the company owners and also for both the candidates to strategize in terms of salary for this year 2023 to make it fair for both sides?
In terms of the salary per se, because of the level of increased demand in the workforce, there's changes, in that. Therefore, we don't really see a lot of issues for candidates to be aggressive in asking for increased pay. However, as for the employers, obviously coming out from COVID, a lot of the companies still have to struggle with kind of, leaping back to where they are. Therefore, giving in to specific demands of salary may not be viable. So suggestion is it's best to work and look at the salary range in the marketplace across the industry, across the specific position. Now, having said that, Manpower, we just basically published the 2023 salary guide across the industry with wide range of positions. So if you are actually interested in getting the information, you can just go to Manpower Group Thailand webpage, and then you can basically download the information.
So in there, you will find out about what are the industries with higher salary, what are the industries that are looking for, let's say, skills workforce.
We don't go into specific in terms of skill set, but what we offer is for each of the industry specific jobs, we provide information on the minimum to the maximum, basically the range of the salary that in 2023 in that particular position.
What is the trend of the salary this year?
Between 3 to 5% increase.
And what are the industry or sectors that are actually in demand for this year?
Just like, global, we are pretty much, Thailand is pretty much aligned with global. IT and technology industry is the biggest, the fastest growing industry. We can actually expect to see roughly between 25% to 25 to 35% salary increase every time the candidate decided to move to a new position. So, and it is actually overrated, if I must say.
So in terms of fresh graduates and new employees who are looking for new jobs right now, what will be your advice and strategy or a formula or solutions to calculate what is the right salary base that they should ask for from the company to live sufficiently with the cost of living and inflations and the world situation right now?
In terms of new graduates, most of the time, the companies already have an established base for entry-level position. However, as a new fresh graduate going in for an interview, there are opportunities for you to actually upsell yourself. For example, if you present yourself with all those extra curriculum that you have done, whether or not you take on a role of the chairman of Pacific Club, whether or not you did a lot of volunteer works, or take on part-time job, being a public speaker, being a Pacific presenter, those are all add-ups to your skill set and your ability to sell yourself. Coming in versus if the employer were to compare your persona with just sort of like an average candidates coming in, obviously you would gain a lot of advantage just based on that.
What about the name of institutions? Does it matter?
I can't really. This is actually a bit difficult to answer because most of the companies in Thailand, they still values, which institution, which college you graduated from. And I guess that would be a bit difficult for companies or hiring managers to move away from that. But if you actually ask me specifically, ever since I started my job 30 years ago in a fast-moving consumer goods industry, I've never give specific preference to any college per se. For myself, I base my judgment on the interview and how well the candidates can impress me at that particular moment.
Yes, and also the candidates should upsell, as you said.
Exactly.
Upsell themselves, what are the training they have done and the jobs, that extra curriculum that they have completed as well.
Exactly.
What about in terms of employees who are looking for new opportunities, and also everyone is looking for is to increase the salary when you change jobs?
Right. So for experienced candidates who looking for a new opportunity, obviously, before you get a chance to have this one-on-one interview with the potential employer, the employer would have studies the CVs on paper already. By passing that specific screening, it means that you had passed the hurdle of having fitted the right skill set. Now moving forward to a one-on-one interview, nowadays employers tend to look at soft skill as well, right? Soft skill. What do we mean by soft skill? Soft skill are the ones that you personally portray out. For example, the ability to show off your leadership skill, ability to be collaborative, work in a good teamwork. Agility is very important. Communication is also very important. So all those skill sets nowadays is as important as hard skill sets that you show on paper.
It's true. And I would like to raise one of the factor, I'm not sure if you agree with me, that it's not just only employer looking for a perfect candidate, but a candidate also looking for a perfect working environment as well. Because some employer may actually reject the offer after.
Some of the, definitely, because nowadays, I guess the candidates have a lot more choice that they can choose from. The ideology of moving towards, a 9-to-5 jobs on a daily basis to a hybrid work mode, I'm pretty sure that most of the companies are affected by this. Even now, as being sort of like, a human resourcing firm, the first thing that we have to answer to the potential candidates is, what is the policy for work from home, hybrid working policy. So with that, candidates nowadays, they also pick and choose. They have the ability to pick and choose as well. Work-life balance become a lot more important nowadays. However, from the employer points of view, some of the jobs you can't really, expect for the employees to be working from home because especially jobs that requires a lot of engagement, interaction. We sometimes find that by having a hybrid, ambience, productivity actually decline. So it is not specific industry per se or specific role per se, but as an employer, as a company, you have to take all of those aspects into consideration before we offer to change our own policy.
So what would be your advice or your tips for employers who are looking for new opportunities and also would like to increase their salary base?
First, you have to be very well prepared when you have the opportunity to sit down and do a face-to-face interview. By being well prepared is that you have to study the job description, study the company itself, how you can contribute to the success and achievement of the company on that particular role. Secondly, you should also recite your past success, your past achievement, so that you will be able to give them the confidence that you can deliver what the company is looking for. And I guess, the third one has to do with manpower. Basically, you can become one of the things is that you can become a candidate of Manpower, whereby we are quite resourceful in, we have pipelines of multinational clientele that constantly looking for talent. And by becoming our candidates, let us be the person who help you boost up your career. We can be the medium in connecting between you and a potential employer of your choice.
Well, last, I would like to ask how to ask for appropriate salary, or in another word, not too ugly, not too inappropriate.
So in the past, this is like, before the COVID, pandemic, when a candidate changed jobs, the average salary increase normally is around 20 to 30%. But nowadays, post-COVID, era, the candidates will be lucky if they can actually, get an offer of, 15 to 18% max. Because as I said before, a lot of the companies, a lot of the corporations still struggle to move back to where they were before, pre-COVID time. And with that, the offering may not be as attractive as before, but we are making, but most of the corporations are actually making good progress.
Okay, Ka, so I think the salarymen who are looking or watching this report right now would take the notes and the tips and you know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, check out Manpower website. For today, I would like to thank you, Kun Lily, very much, Ka. Thank you and thank you for watching. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดี
ขอบ
ค่ะ
คุณค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ